Dan here, back again, today with a cold. Sorry for the stuffy nose. But today we want to talk to you as another part of our series, educational videos on how to select the right components, accessories, upgrades, modifications for your dirt bike, your ATV, UTV, your power sports vehicle. And today we're going to start at the beginning. What's the first thing you usually do when you get on your ride? You turn the ignition key to start your ride. So we want to look at ignition switches, ignition cores, a couple of different words for it, and show you how to select a quality one, what makes them different, and we're going to go through feature by feature. Okay, key point, first point we want to talk about is the core, this center part, the core of the ignition switch cylinder itself. A lot of brands out there, a lot of ignition switches are like this one. It's plastic through and through. Only the little metal contacts here for where the key inserts that reads the shape of the key are metal. The rest of it's all plastic. This is not very reliable, can wear out quickly, and also if there's a short, which can happen in your ignition switch, this can catch fire and melt really easily. A quality core is usually like this. By the way, this is a core that we cut in half. So this is a plastic one we cut in half, and then this one is a zinc alloy core. It's metal. So zinc alloy is oxidation, rust, and corrosion resistant, and it's also fire resistant, so it won't burn up and melt down if you get a short circuit. It'll also give you much more durability. So see, this is a solid core before we cut it in half. Okay, next key component we want to talk about is actually this plastic housing here on the cylinder. These two look similar. They look like black plastic, but this one is black plastic. This one is actually fire retardant nylon. So again, it's possible to get a short circuit or other reasons your vehicle could catch on fire. So anyway, this will not burn up. It will self-extinguish within 10 seconds. Here is one, we actually shot a video, and you'll see it here in a second, of where we held a torch to two different cores, and this is the result of one after about a second, catching on fire and melting. So protect your ride with a quality fire retardant nylon housing in the ignition switch. Okay, moving down the line here, the next component in the core is this, under this cap here. We're going to talk about what's down in there, and that is the points, the ignition points. Can you see this black one and the white one? Let me show you the difference. The white one is a fire retardant material, again, fire retardant nylon. The black one, this one already was on fire and melted down. So I have a white one, where'd it go? Here, that we lit on fire, and you see it got a little scorched, but it didn't melt. And this one just totally melted down. So there's a difference there, again, in safety and reliability. Now, another part connected to that, and I had one cut here to show you close up here, is the wire itself. You want a thick gauge, multi-stranded copper like this in your wires, because this gives you much more amperage, short starts every time, and less corrosion. There's a lot of brands out there that have aluminum wire, which is really crappy, let's put it that way. Okay, we talked about the quality differences. Now let's just talk about some physical differences. There are different kinds of ignition switches. Like this one's only a 2-wire. There's no accessory mode, like if you want to turn on standby headlights or something like that. Like in your car, you have like a couple of different turns to your switch. So 2-wire is just on and off. And then other ones with multi-strand, like here 4 or 5, 6 conductors have different functions, like a standby and running lights on. Another thing is connectors. Check your ride, you know, when you're buying a new ignition switch. Do you have a female connector like this on your switch, or do you have a male connector? So again, check the number of contacts, which ends up in the wires, and if it's a male or a female type plug connector. Okay, next, look at the overall right here, this part. This is, I think they call this a bayonet connector. Basically, you have a hole in the housing of your ride. You know, usually you got ABS bodywork on your ATV or motorcycle, and this just pops in, and these little things pop out and hold it in place. Now here's a different one. This one has a nut. You have to be able to get at it, so it depends on your ride if you can get at it. But this can screw in and securely hold it in place. So it's two different types of mounting, achieve the same thing, but this one easier to maintain, I think, than trying to pry this one back out in the future. And our final feature we're going to look at today is the keys. Okay, two parts we're going to talk about the keys. First of all, this one is a chrome-plated zinc key, so it's really going to hold up well against corrosion and rust. The key itself here, the metal part. Again, this is a nylon fob on the end here, the part you grab on. So again, fire retardant, sticking with the fire retardant scheme of things. But there's another style of key. See this one? This has a dust cap or mud cap. So if you're driving an ATV out in the mud, this may be a better choice to select an ignition switch that comes with this type of dust cap key, because it keeps the mud and dirt and water out of your ignition core no matter what you do. Where this one, can allow the elements in. Okay, and sticking with what I just mentioned about the different kind of keys with the dust cover. So for example, this little mini quad here, the ignition's on the outside, it's really exposed to the elements. So this might be a better choice than a traditional key, one that has the dust cover. So when it's there, it's keeping the elements out of your ignition core.